The streets of America have never seen anything like this. A quiet revolution is rolling through the highways, and it's powered by something that defies everything we thought we knew about energy. Meet Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-powered car, the first of its kind now street legal in the United States. No plugs. No charging stations. No fuel. Just motion sustained endlessly. Today, we take you inside the technology that's making this possible, the reactions of engineers who couldn't believe their eyes, and what this means for the future of transportation. Imagine a car that never needs to stop for energy. A vehicle that doesn't drain the grid or require conventional infrastructure. A machine that taps into an unseen energy field, stabilizing itself while driving on public roads. When Maxwell first unveiled his prototype, the engineering world was skeptical. Experts called it impossible, physics-defying, even a hoax. But today, skepticism has turned into shock as the first street-legal model rolls past astonished onlookers. The car's exterior looks deceptively ordinary, sleek, modern, aerodynamic. But beneath the hood lies a compact, pulsating core surrounded by a lattice of magnetic rings and energy stabilizers. It's this core that allows the car to generate its own continuous power while adjusting dynamically to speed, load, and environmental conditions. Observers at the U.S. Department of Transportation's approval session described the moment as surreal. When the car was tested on a standard highway loop, not a single external power source was connected, yet it maintained peak performance, acceleration, and range that would make traditional EVs envious. Elon Musk himself reportedly sent representatives to witness the test. The room was silent as the vehicle completed multiple laps with flawless efficiency. Engineers couldn't hide their astonishment. Data screens lit up with readings that conventional physics could barely explain. But the real marvel is not just in performance. Maxwell's vehicle has built-in wireless energy sharing capability. This means that if multiple cars of this type are driving nearby, they can exchange power seamlessly. One car can lend energy to another, maintaining collective efficiency without ever needing a plug or charging station. This innovation has the potential to redefine transportation entirely. Imagine entire fleets of vehicles moving across cities, states, or even continents, continuously powered, independent of traditional infrastructure. Grid congestion becomes a thing of the past, energy costs plummet, and carbon emissions drop to near zero. And yet, Maxwell is only just getting started. Behind the scenes, engineers are already discussing upgrades, scaling the technology for buses, delivery fleets, and even airplanes. The question on everyone's mind, if this car can run indefinitely on public roads, what else is possible? Public reaction is equally electrifying. Social media is buzzing with footage of the self-powered EV cruising past highways and city streets, leaving viewers questioning everything they knew about energy, mobility, and the future of transportation. This is more than a car. This is a statement, a challenge to traditional automotive industries. A wake-up call for energy companies. And as Maxwell drives past each astonished witness, one thing is clear. The future has arrived, and it's self-powered. The next step is even more ambitious. Maxwell has hinted at urban energy networks and fleet-based wireless power sharing, turning entire cities into continuous energy ecosystems. The city streets seemed to hold their breath as Maxwell's self-powered car glided silently past, its core glowing faintly beneath the sleek chassis. Pedestrians stopped mid-step, phones in hand, capturing every moment, unable to believe what they were witnessing. Inside a nearby engineering lab, a team of U.S. automotive experts huddled around monitors streaming live telemetry from the vehicle. Acceleration curves, energy output, and efficiency ratios defied every equation they had ever trusted. One senior engineer muttered under his breath, eyes wide. This shouldn't be possible. The energy isn't coming from anywhere we can measure. Yet the data didn't lie. Voltage remained stable. Current output adjusted dynamically. Temperature stayed within safe margins. Even under sudden speed changes and abrupt braking, the car continued without drawing from a single external source. Meanwhile, Maxwell was already thinking bigger. His vision extended far beyond a single street-legal car. On his tablet, holographic blueprints flickered to life, a network of vehicles, each sharing energy seamlessly, forming a self-sustaining grid on wheels. Outside, a reporter shouted from the sidewalk, "How far can it go without charging?" Maxwell smiled, almost amused. "Until you tell it to stop." The car accelerated smoothly, performing maneuvers that would normally require constant energy input. The hum from the core was low but steady, a sound almost imperceptible, yet full of life. People whispered, some in disbelief, some in awe. Back at the press conference hall, Elon Musk's team was silently reviewing live feeds. Every engineer in the room knew one thing: if Maxwell's technology scaled as promised, the EV industry would never be the same. Entire supply chains for batteries, charging stations, and fossil fuels could be disrupted almost overnight. A young engineer, shaking his head, asked aloud, "Do you realize what this means for Tesla, for every EV manufacturer?" Maxwell's assistant tapped a holographic map, highlighting urban routes where multiple self-powered cars could operate in tandem. Lines representing wireless energy transfer pulsed with soft light, moving from one car to another, balancing output perfectly. "This," Maxwell said, gesturing to the holographic network, "is how cities of the future will run. Cars sharing energy, homes sharing energy, all interconnected, independent of traditional grids." Suddenly, an alert flashed on the monitor. A nearby test drone had picked up interference patterns as the car passed through the city. The engineers tensed. Maxwell's eyes flicked to the display. "It's not interference," he said calmly. "It's the field interacting with the environment. Adjusting, stabilizing, learning." The realization hit the room like a shockwave. This wasn't just a self-powered vehicle. It was adaptive, almost intelligent. It could read its surroundings, regulate its core output, and even interact with other devices wirelessly. Elon's voice crackled over the secure line he had joined remotely. "Maxwell, this is unlike anything I've ever seen. Show me the core." Maxwell stepped forward, opening a concealed panel under the rear chassis. A soft blue glow illuminated the room, a lattice of magnetic rings and energy stabilizers, vibrating gently. Engineers instinctively stepped back, sensing the subtle power radiating from the assembly. "Every component is designed for real-time adaptation," Maxwell explained. "Voltage, current, and frequency are balanced constantly. The car doesn't just use energy, it harmonizes with it." The reporters leaned in, cameras rolling. The city outside buzzed, oblivious to the quiet revolution now unfolding on its streets. And Maxwell, calm as ever, pressed forward with a final test. "Let's see how it handles a full urban cycle, maximum speed, multiple stops, and wireless energy sharing." The city watched. The engineers watched. The world was about to witness the dawn of a new era. The EV hummed softly as it glided out of the test area and into the city's streets. Its core pulsed rhythmically, casting faint blue light onto surrounding buildings. Pedestrians froze mid-step, smartphones raised, capturing the vehicle as it passed. Cars on the road slowed, drivers craning their necks in disbelief. Maxwell's vehicle approached the first intersection, where two other self-powered prototypes were waiting. As the EV drew near, faint arcs of energy connected the cars, invisible yet detectable by specialized sensors. Power transferred seamlessly between them, balancing output as if the cars were communicating silently. A reporter shouted from the sidewalk, voice trembling with excitement. "It's sharing energy, it's actually sharing energy." Maxwell nodded calmly, eyes scanning the city through augmented reality overlays on his tablet. Each street, each traffic light, each vehicle was now part of a dynamic energy network. The system wasn't just self-sustaining, it was growing smarter by the second. Inside a nearby engineering lab, monitors lit up with real-time data. Voltage levels, energy transfer rates, and field stability metrics danced across screens. Engineers, initially skeptical, now whispered among themselves in awe. "This is unprecedented," one muttered. "The car's field is adapting to environmental variables in real time. It's almost alive." Meanwhile, Elon Musk watched remotely, jaw tight, his voice barely audible over the conference call. "Maxwell, this changes everything. Show me the limits. Maxwell smiled faintly. Limits are relative, he said. He tapped a command on his wrist console. The EV accelerated smoothly, weaving through traffic at peak performance. Each movement caused subtle fluctuations in the surrounding energy field, yet the system self-corrected instantly. Nearby cars equipped with receivers absorbed small amounts of excess power, further stabilizing the network. A drone hovering above the city captured the most breathtaking view, a network of glowing blue threads connecting multiple vehicles as they moved, forming an almost organic lattice of energy flowing silently across the streets. The city's residents, oblivious to the technical marvel unfolding above their heads, continued their routines, yet something had shifted. Streetlights, powered entirely by the network, glowed brighter. Nearby buildings seemed to hum in resonance with the passing cars. The invisible energy fabric of the city was alive. Back at the lab, engineers began to grasp the broader implications. If scaled, Maxwell's system could reduce grid dependency entirely, eliminate charging stations and traditional battery infrastructure, allow fleets of vehicles, drones, and even homes to operate on a self-regulating, wireless energy network. One senior engineer whispered, almost to herself, This could redefine civilization as we know it. Maxwell pressed forward with the final demonstration. He guided the EV toward a heavily congested downtown area, the ultimate urban stress test. Energy nodes lit up in sequence as the vehicle passed. Wireless power seamlessly transferred to nearby EVs and infrastructure. Not a single drop of external energy was drawn. Elon's voice broke the silence remotely. Maxwell, I've seen a lot of tech, but this is beyond anything imaginable. How far can it scale? Maxwell paused, eyes steady. Cities first, then regions, then nations. The hum of the EV intensified slightly, as if affirming his statement. The city, the streets, the cars, everything was now a living demonstration of limitless, self-powered mobility. And the world was watching. As the self-powered EV cruised through the downtown streets, news helicopters circled overhead, live feeds broadcasting the spectacle across television networks and social media platforms. Tweets, videos, and live reactions exploded online. Hashtag MaxwellEV, hashtag self-powered car, hashtag energy revolution began trending within minutes. Inside a broadcast studio, journalists struggled to contain their astonishment. One anchor, voice trembling, said, This car has no charging port, no fuel intake, yet it operates flawlessly on public roads. People are calling it the future of transportation. Meanwhile, engineers at Tesla headquarters huddled around screens showing the live feed. Murmurs filled the room. One senior engineer muttered, If Maxwell scales this, we're looking at a complete disruption of the EV market. Elon Musk, watching remotely, leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed on the video. He whispered to himself, This is done real. Absolutely unreal. Back in the city, Maxwell's EV approached a busy intersection, where dozens of traditional EVs were stopped at red lights. As the lights changed, Maxwell activated the wireless energy sharing mode. Streams of invisible energy flowed from his car to nearby vehicles, temporarily boosting their efficiency and range without any physical connection. Pedestrians gasped. Drivers blinked in disbelief. Phones captured footage that would go viral in hours. Maxwell calmly explained over a connected microphone. You're witnessing the first real-world demonstration of a self-sustaining urban energy ecosystem. One car can help many, and many can help a city. The vehicle then entered a demonstration zone, where multiple prototypes lined up in sequence. As the LED EV passed, energy flowed along the network, creating a visible pulse on specially prepared holographic displays. The effect was mesmerizing, a glowing web of power moving seamlessly across the city streets. Scientists monitoring the system on their tablets began to whisper among themselves. This isn't just a car. It's a dynamic energy node. The city itself can now become self-powered. A live notification appeared on Maxwell's console, grid load stabilized, 100% wireless mode active. Engineers and officials in the lab exchanged stunned looks. The realization dawned: an entire city could now function independently of traditional power infrastructure. Traffic lights, public transport, homes, and businesses could all share energy dynamically, in real time, with minimal loss. Elon Musk's voice came through again, slightly raised. Maxwell, you're not just making a car. You're rewriting how civilization accesses energy. Maxwell's calm response. Exactly. This is the beginning. Not just for cars, for cities, countries, and eventually the planet. Outside, as the EV completed its final demonstration loop, the hum of its core resonated with the city itself. Buildings, streetlights, and other vehicles seemed to pulse in harmony with the invisible field. The event wasn't just a vehicle unveiling, it was a public demonstration of a new era of energy freedom. And for the first time in history, the world understood. Energy would no longer be limited. Infrastructure would no longer dictate mobility. Humanity had entered an age where self-powered technology could redefine life itself. By the time the evening news cycles began, footage of Maxwell's self-powered EV had gone viral worldwide. Screens in Tokyo, London, and Johannesburg all displayed the same astonishing images, a city humming in perfect synchronization with a single vehicle, energy flowing invisibly through the streets. Governments scrambled to understand the implications. Officials in Washington held emergency briefings. European energy regulators demanded explanations. African tech hubs erupted in celebration, recognizing one of their own had just disrupted global energy paradigms. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #MaxwellEV, #self-powered-revolution, and #futurisnow were trending globally. Analysts predicted massive impacts on oil markets, battery manufacturing, and traditional EV production. At a global engineering conference streamed live, experts debated furiously. This is impossible. There's no precedent in physics for a self-sustaining vehicle operating at this scale. Yet the data doesn't lie. Voltage, current, and field stability, all perfectly regulated. Imagine a fleet of these vehicles covering an entire metropolitan area. The implications for urban planning and energy distribution are unprecedented. Meanwhile, Maxwell was already planning the next step. In a private control room, he monitored multiple self-powered EVs operating in a test network spanning several districts. The vehicles communicated seamlessly, transferring energy as needed, avoiding traffic, and balancing the load across the network. Elon Musk, now fully engaged, called Maxwell directly via a secure video line. His tone was a mixture of admiration and urgency. Maxwell, what you've created isn't just a car. It's a mobile energy ecosystem. This could change everything for Tesla, for SpaceX, for the world. Maxwell nodded calmly. Exactly. And this is only the beginning. Today it's one city, one fleet. Tomorrow, multiple cities, countries, even continents. Wireless energy, self-powered systems, the infrastructure becomes flexible, adaptive, almost alive. Engineers in the control room were taking notes furiously. Some tried to model the system. Others simply stared, awestruck. A young programmer whispered, This is like the entire grid is thinking for itself." As night fell, the city itself seemed alive. Streetlights glowed brighter than ever without drawing from the grid. Cars moved in perfect harmony, their invisible energy, links visible only to specialized monitors. Buildings subtly pulsed with synchronized light, a tangible display of the invisible power network now operational. And the world watched. Headlines flashed across news networks. Self-powered EV shocks the U.S. Maxwell Chikumbutso, Africa's tech genius, redefines transportation. Energy grid obsolete? Wireless power revolution underway. Yet Maxwell remained calm, almost meditative. He knew the real challenge had just begun. This was no longer about proving the technology. It was about scaling it, protecting it from misuse, and guiding humanity into an era where energy scarcity no longer dictated progress. He looked at the glowing EV, pulsing softly in the night, and spoke quietly to his team. "Tonight, we've shown the world what's possible. Tomorrow, we build the future. A faint hum filled the control room, the resonance of the vehicles, the network, the city. It was no longer just a machine. It was a living system, silently teaching the world that energy limits were a relic of the past. By morning, the world had fully awakened to what Maxwell had unleashed. News outlets in every continent were flooded with footage of the self-powered EVs, the glowing energy networks, and the city operating independently of traditional power grids. Governments, engineers, and investors were scrambling to understand, adapt, and replicate the technology. Tesla's headquarters prepared emergency meetings, energy companies analyzed the threat, and global media dubbed it the Maxwell effect. Yet amidst the frenzy, Maxwell remained calm. His vision had never been about fame or wealth. It was about proving that humanity could break free from energy constraints. From city streets to highways, from urban centers to test tracks, self-powered vehicles now represented more than transportation. They symbolized the beginning of an era where energy scarcity, infrastructure limits, and conventional grids were no longer obstacles. Elon Musk, reflecting privately on the demonstration, whispered, This changes everything." Maxwell looked out at the city, its glowing, harmonized streets, and smiled. "The future isn't coming," he said. "The future is here."